Interesting. The story of Rainer Winkler is the most extreme example of internet trolling I have ever seen. Years of constant harassment both online and in real life have led to riots, news headlines all over the world, violence, the torment of an entire village, people going to prison, one man on the brink of complete mental collapse, and this is the insane story of Germany's biggest lolcow, Dragonlord.
Wir haben die hier in Ofenkäse. Wir bieten dir den so als Frieden an.
Hello guys, how's it going? You alright? Boy, we've got a wild story today with so much to go over. But before we get into the details, let's meet the protagonist of today's episode. So, that's Reinhard Winkler. He had a pretty normal upbringing in rural Germany. The only real things of note were that he went to special needs school where he was bullied. He has an IQ of around 85 and he was left this house after his father died. According to Rainer, his mother and sister left the house immediately after his father's death to live with his mother's new boyfriend, though this is disputed by family friends who insisted that Rainer's lack of emotional control and his tendency to go into debt drove his family away. Rainer was left with his grandmother, his mother's horse Blue and his dog. All of these things were a hindrance to him, so he shipped his grandmother off to a retirement home, his dog was largely uncared for and was taken away by animal services, and the horse was left uncared for in the field next door to the house. The early parts of his life should be taken with a pinch of salt as the information comes from Rainer, who has been shown to be a liar, which we'll learn more about later, or the information comes from his haiders, which again we'll learn more about later. The only things that really matter from his early years are both provable. He was left this house and he lives in this village that has a population of just 28. Shortly after the death of his father in 2013, Rainer set up the YouTube channel that would change his life forever. As Rainer's father didn't allow him to use the internet, he had very little experience and was somewhat naive to the ways of the online world, a fact that would later come back to haunt him. His channel centered around his one true love, metal. The early days of his channel were mainly him doing super sick video editing, headbanging and talking about, of course, metal.
Metal Leute, Servus und ein herzliches Willkommen beim Drachen. Ja, ihr hört's schon.
Bis zum nächsten Mal. Metal. Tschüss.
Aus der Kehle heraus, aus dem Hals heraus und jetzt so wie so ein kleines Mädchen. Ich mag aber auch total gerne Viking Death Metal.
He would also do some comedy, Q&As and opinion videos. It was his opinion videos that first started to gain the attention of the trolls, as it was clear that Rainer was not too bright and didn't really know much about anything. His channel moved away from talking about metal and became more about him talking about his life. People started to notice that Rainer lied a lot, with conflicting stories about him being a virgin but also claims that he would sleep with lots of women, men and transgender people. It was during one of these Q&As that the main part of our story begins. Rainer gave out his full name in a video called 20 Facts About Me. This allowed his trolls to find his Facebook account, which would in turn allow them to find the contact details for his family. One of Rainer's trolls then sent a threatening message to his sister, which understandably upset Dragonlord. Rainer had had enough and he was going to show the trolls who was boss. The trolls had gone too far and it was time to end this like a man.
Metal Leute. Ich weiß, dass ein paar Arschlöcher da draußen meinen, ich sei das letzte Arschloch und der letzte Kasper und Dreckstag und was weiß ich alles. Ich habe heute einen Aufruf an euch, kleinen miesen Drecksschweine. Irgendeiner, ich weiß es nicht wer, es ist mir auch scheißegal. Ich weiß nicht wer es war. Irgendjemand hat meine Schwester mit einer PC-Computerstimme angerufen und gemeint, pass auf, ich weiß, wo du wohnst. Wer auch immer das war, traut euch, kommt zu mir als Schauerberg 8 in 91448 ins Kirchen. Traut euch, kommt zu mir und legt euch mit mir an. Ich prügel die Scheiße aus euch raus.
He gave out his address. He gave out his home address to a gang of trolls and invited them to come and see him. Not a great plan. At this stage, Dragonlord's channel was still small, so the consequences of this naive mistake didn't become fully apparent until about a year later when his notoriety grew. But we'll come on to that later. At this stage, all that happened was a few pizzas were ordered to his house and the trolling of Dragonlord was a niche pastime for the select few. This changed, however, when this forum, which translates to laugh already in English, started to pay more attention to Rainer, and he quickly became the site's largest lolcow. Unsure what a lolcow is? Well, put simply, it's a person whose foolish behaviour can be exploited to amuse onlookers online. Milked for laughs.
Gesundheit.
Dankeschön.
I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean.
Oh, da bin ich wieder. Ich hoffe, deine Kamera hat einen guten Ausgleich für das ganze Geschüttel, was du da machst. Aber vermutlich eher nicht, wenn ich mir die Marke so anschaue. Kauf dir lieber eine Nikon, die ist besser. Hat einen besseren Stabilisator drin.
Dragonlord began to refer to his trolls as haiders, which is haters in English, and he started to make more and more content about his haiders, which fanned the flames and encouraged the trolls. The forum quickly found the video with Rainer doxing himself and the Dragon game was born. This was still largely small-scale stuff like sending packages full of feces to Rainer's home address. The Dragon game really kicked off in 2015 when the trolls would go to Rainer's home and leave cans of his favourite energy drink at his gate. The term dragon bunker was used to describe Rainer's house, and the trolls would make what they called a pilgrimage to the dragon bunker. This all still sounds pretty harmless, but things began to escalate and soon this was the Dragon game.
Oh nein, der macht wirklich.
Ey, ja klar macht er das wirklich.
Das ist meiner, ne?
Oh shit.
Warum zuckst du so? Oh! Oh! Na komm! Ich schmeiß da gleich. Oh, die schöne Dose.
Verdammt noch! Wollt ihr meinen Scheißschlauch kaputt machen? Die anderen aufstehen!
Armselig! Ich bin armselig!
Hau ab! Hau ab! Hau ab! Hau ab! Immer scheißegal! Hau ab! Du nimmst Rebuild-Tasten grad Kopf! Schwangelte! Wollt ihr meine Scheiben mal schlagen hier?
Ruhe! Rainer!
Halt deine Fresse, du kleiner Hurensohn! Du! Halt deine! Deine Empathie, was soll ihr für Abschau?
Herr Winkler!
Ich heute und dann wie hier! Ey, dann hätte ich mich schon lange schon...
Herr Winkler!
Hau ab, du feige Sau! Was anderes hast du eh nicht drauf! Kannst du hierher kommen und andere auf die Eier gehen, Alter! Ey, ich stehe nicht mit deinem weg!
Alter, das ist... Der sitzt im Rollstuhl, Alter! Der ist im Rollstuhl!
So, this is the point that the story really starts to spiral out of control. Dragonlord's angry reaction to the trolls attracted more trolls like flies round shit, and the pilgrimage grew bigger and bigger. Rainer declared war on the haiders with the statement, "That's it for them, they're dead," and he began to fight back.
Bomben, Alter! Du sprühst mir Pfefferspray, jetzt habe ich's auf Video, dankeschön.
Spoiler alert, the war didn't go well for Dragonlord.
Whoa!
The pilgrimage became a rite of passage for young German trolls who came to be known as cave children. This would happen every day, with new cave children turning up at Rainer's house to harass him, then leaving only to be replaced by fresh new trolls. They would throw eggs at him, smash his windows with bricks, throw rubbish over his gate, vandalise his property and throw fireworks at his house, just to name a few things. Things got so bad in the sleepy little German village that the police refused to attend calls from Rainer and just pretty much left him to fight the haiders. So that's what he did. He began to patrol his village with a big stick looking for trolls. A giant barbarian roaming the German countryside with a big stick hunting for trolls sounds like something out of a fairy tale. But this is real life, and all of this really happened, and this is just the start of the madness.
Der Held wird weniger, Rainer! Der Held wird weniger! 5 Beine! Mach! Damit zeigst du nur, wie feige ihr seid!
Wir wollen wirklich keinen Stress oder sowas.
Tim, es ist zu spät.
Mit dir.
Natürlich taucht das auf.
Wir waren heute ganz normal unterwegs. Was du hier bist, ist mir egal. Du stehst vor meiner Haustür, du schreist vor meiner Tür rum. Was mit mir? Ja. Der provoziert mich seit 10 Minuten.
Alter, jetzt schmeißt er die Brüche raus.
Was ich kann! Du stehst vor meiner Tür, du Assi, Alter! Was ich hier kann und was du kannst, Junge, sind Welten!
In one incident, Rainer attacked innocent people just driving past his house. He mistook them for haiders and hit their car with a stick, with the police being called to sort out the mess. Can you imagine just going for a nice pleasant drive in the German countryside when all of a sudden a large German man starts attacking your car with a stick and screaming at you?
Was geht, hä?
Du gehst auf unser Auto los.
Ey, ohne Scheiß, wenn ich euch zusammenhauen würde, könnte ich sogar damit durchkommen.
Hier muss niemand
weil ihr hier
jemand
ständig Stress macht, Alter! 5 verschissene Jahre!
aufs Auto geschlagen.
5 verschissene Jahre, ihr Hurensöhne!
Wir sind hier durchgefahren.
Ihr habt nichts an euch
hast doch nicht
davon!
das Auto zu
Da
schlagen.
unten ist das Schild durchfahren!
Ja, du mich
Das
doch
ist doch das
auch.
erste Wort, was du zu uns gesagt hast.
Halt's Maul, du Stück Scheiße!
Du bist ein Stück Scheiße.
Ich komm nicht hierher! Ich geh an euch auf die Eier! Ihr kommt hierher und belästigt mich, ihr Hurensöhne!
It would take me hours to go over all of the stuff that happened, so let's just take a look at some of the more extreme examples of the Dragon game. So we have the more bog standard stuff like swatting and calling the fire brigade to his house. In fact, Dragonlord was the first person to ever be swatted in Germany. The haider responsible for the fake call ended up going to prison for this. We also have the time in 2018 when hundreds of people turned up to Dragonlord's little village and planned to hold a festival outside his house. A state of emergency was declared, with riot police and all other emergency services in the area being deployed to break up the crowds. This then led to a riot in the sleepy little village, with many people being arrested, and some of the people even tried to set fire to the nearby forest. This was national news in Germany, with Rainer being interviewed about the incident. Then we have the time that one of his haiders was sent to prison. The German newspaper that I got the story from says that the defendant was charged with making fake bomb threats and using a third party's credit card to order the following items to Dragonlord's house: toys, which I guess means sex toys; digital subscriptions, which I would guess is to some kind of weird porn site; worn socks; pig interiors; electrical items, as well as t-shirts and a cap with the logo for the terrorist organisation ISIS. The main reason this guy went to prison though is because when the police raided his house they found a load of kiddie porn. That's right, the troll was a dirty little pedo. While all of this was going on in the real world, the Dragon game still continued online, with some notable examples of this being the time that Rainer fell in love with a woman that he met online. After only a few weeks, he thought it was a good idea to ask for her hand in marriage live on the internet.
Ich sehe das momentan halt als extrem großen Liebesbeweis von meiner Süßen, von meiner Erdbeere. Also im Prinzip will ich dich hier live fragen, ob du mich heiraten willst. Nicht unbedingt der romantischste Antrag, aber ja.
Oh Mann. Ist das dein Ernst?
Ja, schon.
Und ich sollte jetzt eine Antwort drauf geben?
Prinzipiell hast du es ja schon getan. Jetzt ist nur die Frage, ob du dazu stehst.
Okay. Also Rainer, du bist echt ein ganz besonderer Mensch. Und mit besonders meine ich, du bist der fetteste, dümmste Idiot, den ich je in meinem ganzen Leben gesehen habe.
Pretty savage. Another time, Dragonlord was streaming and happily singing along to one of his favourite songs, just chilling with his viewers when someone hacked his stream and played a video of him masturbating. Rainer was unaware of this and just continued to sing along while the world watched what must have been a pretty horrific sight. So you may be asking yourself, why was there a video of Dragonlord wanking, and how did his trolls get a hold of this? Well, he has a Pornhub channel and he uploads all kinds of stuff on there. This account was later hacked by haiders and all of the videos were deleted. At least the haiders did one good thing for the world, I guess. Dragonlord also had sex blogs where he would write stories with him as the main protagonist having sex with all the women. He also advertised on forums that he created asking for partners to join him in making videos and posted this photo with hopes to attract people to join him. As you can guess, it wasn't too successful. Rainer has set up many forums over the years, with all of them being shut down because of the endless trolling and haiders hacking them. It looks like he may have a book for sale along the same lines as well. Sex and sexuality are a common theme on Dragonlord's Q&As, which have become known as lust lords. These are a favourite of the haiders, as Rainer says some pretty wacky stuff about having sex with horses and large marine animals.
Tri hat gefragt, Hashtag Lustlord1510. Was für Sexspielzeuge oder Masturbationshilfen besitzt du? Das wurde ich wurde allerdings von der Person auch andere Sachen gefragt, deswegen habe ich die Frage rausgenommen. Ich wurde auch gefragt, wie groß mein Penis ist. Zwischen 16 und 17 cm. Und ja, das war wirklich kein Witz und ich bin damit voll auf zufrieden. Aber hier zum Sexspielzeug jetzt dazu gesagt, und deswegen habe ich jetzt meine Penisgröße gesagt, ich habe eine sogenannte Penispumpe. Das ist unter anderem auch dafür, das kann dafür sorgen, dass der Penis auch größer wird. Ob das wirklich funktioniert oder nicht, ich habe keine Ahnung, ich habe das nie groß probiert. Ich habe eine da, einfach weil ich wissen wollte, wie sich das anfühlt und wie das ist. Aber ich selbst habe jetzt da nicht irgendwie probiert, ob ich das wirklich schaffe, größer zu werden. Und das möchte ich eigentlich auch gar nicht, weil ich bin mit meiner Größe vollkommen zufrieden. Gut, ich habe diese sogenannten Masturbationshilfen, das ist im Prinzip die Nachahmung einer Frau. Ist aber natürlich völlig für den Arsch, also das taugt überhaupt nichts und das bringt eigentlich überhaupt nichts. Ich persönlich habe davon, also mir persönlich zumindest bringt das überhaupt nichts. Vielleicht bin ich auch einfach nicht groß. So, und ein letztes Spielzeug, das ich momentan noch besitze, ist ein sogenanntes Prostata-Massagegerät.
There was also the time that his haiders all chipped in to buy him a transsexual prostitute so that he could lose his virginity. I cannot confirm or deny if he is still a virgin. And of course, let's not forget the times that he has been broadcast on television as the main suspect in mass shootings. The haiders would contact news channels just after a killing spree and provide photos of Rainer with weapons. Rainer has been broadcast as the main suspect for mass shootings in Turkey and Russia, plus a mass murder in Norway with a bow and arrow. As the years have gone by, the pilgrimage has become more refined and the haiders target times when Dragonlord is streaming. In the most famous of these attacks, Dragonlord soiled himself. See if you can spot the moment that the chocolate leaves the factory. Oh, and brace yourself for a loud noise.
Ich muss mal schnell aufs Klo.
They also began to smash the windows of his house while he was streaming.
Also es kann wirklich auch mal sein, dass da was komplett anderes drinnen ist. Wenn es aus Versehen gegen den Kopf kommt, kann
Echten Bomben! Die meiste Bombe!
nicht erschrecken.
Wer soll mal die Fresse hältst, du Arschloch, Alter! Kleiner Hurensohn, hau ab! Schaut zu, dass ihr Land gewinnt oder ich spalte euch den Schaden! Ihr seid gezaubert, Alter! Irgendwann reißt ich euch die Gedärme raus! Warrior.
Wie verbringst du es? Wie ist das?
Zeig mir den Mittelfinger ruhig, du Hurensohn! Eier hast du deswegen trotzdem keine!
Dragonlord was also catfished again. He chatted up a woman online and arranged to meet her for some fun times, but when he turned up to meet the fine young lady, he was instead greeted by two men who threw Coca-Cola and flour at him. It's hard for me to truly convey the amount of harassment this man has got during the Dragon Games. Up to 100 times a day, every day, for years this kind of stuff would happen. Trolls would attack him or his house in a continuous tsunami of mockery and belittlement. As you would expect, all of this began to take a toll on poor Rainer.
Bevor ich rauskomme, wenn ich nochmal rauskommen muss, bist du tot, Junge! Halt dein Maul!
Warum ich gerade so extrem angepisst bin, ist, dass ich überhaupt nicht mehr schokolieren will. Ich habe keine Ahnung, wie schwer es ist, es durchzuhalten.
Halt deine Fresse!
Ach, was tue ich jemandem weh? Jeder, der sich fragt, warum ich nicht aufhöre, das ist es wert. Weil jeder andere, der so angegriffen wird, dadurch sieht, dass man es kann.
Ich werde mich niemals besiegen! Ihr habt's da drauf! Ihr seid nichts! Außer Scheiße!
So why has this ill fate befallen Rainer? Why do his haiders hate him so much? Well, let's take a look at some of the things that he has done. Firstly, he lies a lot, so much so that his haiders created a song about how much he lies. He also treats the lovely house that he inherited like shit, with all of the rooms being so full of rubbish that only one room was habitable. The place was so filthy that flies would continuously land on his webcam, and the barn roof collapsed without ever being fixed.
Herr Winkler, komm doch mal raus.
Was beleidigst du denn jetzt so? Das war die nächste.
Pack den Prügel raus. Jawohl, da ist er. Komm raus, komm. Rainer, komm. Komm raus, Rainer.
Zwei Stunden Umstand! Der blöde Wichser! Lass mich alle dran!
He allegedly exposed his genitals to haiders while a child was watching, and by all accounts he is a self-obsessed, aggressive abortion of a human being. blaming everyone else but himself for his problems. It's widely accepted that Rainer has a short temper, which is why the cave children keep poking at the bear. And yes, I agree, he's a very shouty man. But after all of this harassment, I think most people would have snapped by now and started to skin these little dweebs alive, so good on him for not being in prison for life right now. On that note, let's delve into some of the consequences for Rainer and his haiders of the dragon game. Rainer has tried to fake his own death in order to shake the shackles of his trolls. Obviously this didn't work. He has thrown an axe at one of his trolls. In fact, Rainer has been arrested many times for assaulting haiders at his home. One of these arrests was for the time that he pepper sprayed one of his haiders. Rainer was sentenced to 7 months on probation and 50 hours of community service for this. He didn't complete the community service though, not because he didn't try, but because all of the businesses refused to take him on through fear of being swamped by haiders. He has also been arrested for punching 2 trolls that came to his house and insulted his dead father. He was convicted but offered a deal. The court would provide him with training in IT in hopes that he could get a job. He could claim welfare while he was doing the training, and he would be on an extended probation. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal, but this deal came with conditions. The judge saw that the source of Rainer's problems came from the house where the trolls would attack him and the live streams where Rainer would bait them to come. So in order to get this deal, he would need to sell his house and delete his YouTube channel. Dragonlord refused the deal. After an incident where men threw tyres over his fence, Dragonlord called the police. The police were not as helpful as Rainer would have liked, so Rainer uploaded a video of the police and insulted them on the video. This turns out to be a crime in Germany and he was arrested, again. The powers that be were growing sick of Dragonlord and the endless army of haiders that would plague the German countryside, so they made moves to stop Rainer from streaming. According to German law at the time, if your stream got 500 people or more, you were classed as a broadcaster and needed a license. Dragonlord didn't have a license, and when he applied for one it was rejected, so he was banned from streaming. This hit Rainer pretty hard, as it had been his life for many years now and was his main source of income.
Und die sind so dumm gewesen, das zu prüfen, haben dann angeblich an mich Briefe geschickt, die nie angekommen sind. Also wieder mal das typische Hater-Verschwörungsscheiß. Der Antrag auf Verbreitung des Fernsehprogramms Drachenlord im Internet abgelehnt. Verfluchten Wichser, Alter. Fernsehprogramm Drachenlord. Was habe ich hier auf meinem scheiß Streaming-Kanal je gemacht, was mit Drachenlord zu tun hat, ihr Idioten, Alter?
Rainer did, however, find a workaround for this. He moved his stream from YouTube to YouNow and made sure that his viewership was below the 500 mark. But the German authorities were not having any of this and started to fine him for streaming. Dragonlord was having none of this and he refused to pay the fine and ended up owing thousands of euros. Dragonlord did have a stroke of luck with this though, as the law about streaming was updated to now needing 20,000 viewers to need a license. Rainer was again arrested, this time for multiple charges, which included getting a man in a headlock and punching him, hitting another man with a brick and hitting someone with a flashlight. This time Dragonlord told the court that he would be selling his house and would be taking a road trip to escape his haiders. The judge was not happy with this and told Rainer that he would need to delete his YouTube channel. Rainer again refused, so the judge gave him 2 years in prison. Rainer appealed this, and in Germany you don't go to prison until your sentence is final, so Dragonlord was free for the time being until he next had to go to court. So he went back to the house that he had sold and continued to live there and stream. He used the money from the sale of the house to buy a Ford Ranger pickup truck for around 40,000 euros with the plan to go on this road trip, but instead just decided to live in the house and demanded that the local government find him a new place to live. Why did he demand that the local government find him a new place to live, you may be asking? Well, the local government bought the house as everyone was so sick of the dragon game that they hoped that if Rainer moved out, the sleepy little village could go back to being sleepy. This didn't work. Rainer was eventually escorted from the house by the police. He uploaded a victorious video to YouTube about how he was going on a road trip and how none of his haiders would ever be able to find him. Within a few hours they found him. Not only did they find him, they set up an interactive Google Maps that could be updated to track his whereabouts. Rainer continued to stream from the road until his next court date, which, as you would expect by now, was not just as simple as him turning up to court. Hundreds of haiders turned up and had a street party outside the court. One of the star witnesses for the prosecution was a haider that had seen Dragonlord assault someone, but before the haider took the witness stand, he got drunk at the street party outside the court, gave his evidence to the court drunk, then was arrested outside the court for being drunk and disorderly. The appeal went Rayner's way and he was spared prison, with the judge giving him just 1 year probation. So things were finally going Rayner's way. He wasn't in prison, the haiders were finding it more difficult to find him, and he was living the dream on a road trip around Germany. What could go wrong? Well, of course something went wrong. The government asked Rayner to take a test to prove that he was still capable to drive. Rayner didn't turn up to the test, and his new shiny Ford Ranger, which was acting as his mobile home, was impounded. So he was now homeless and had no driving licence. He had to sell his Ford Ranger and use the money to stay in hotels. But because he was Dragonlord, no hotels wanted to have him, as the cost of dealing with the endless army of trolls was too high. It's a little unclear what happened next, but by the looks of it, he bought a cheap house with the money that he had left. His house was later raided by the police and all of the electronic devices were seized. There's much speculation online about why his devices were seized, and I've been unable to find anything concrete, but most people believe that it's because he ran 2 porn websites that didn't have age verification, and the sex blog that he ran talked about things that are illegal in Germany, the kind of things that involve animals. So Dragonlord had now left the dragon bunker. Surely this was the end of the dragon game. No, of course not. Haiders gonna haid, and people still made the pilgrimage to the house to steal things from the abandoned building. Things like anal lube that had been left behind by Dragonlord, and they even stole roof tiles to sell online. The local government knocked down the house in hopes that it would stop people coming to the village. Once the dragon bunker was demolished, the village updated their Facebook banner to this image, and they planned to throw a party to celebrate being free from Rayner. This whole thing has gone on so long that certain time periods are known as seasons by the trolls. There are many seasons, such as the powerless season, where the power got shut off because Rayner didn't pay his bills. This goes to show how the trolls view Rayner. They see him as some kind of TV show, something that exists to amuse them. Rayner seems happy to play along with this idea, actively participating as it gains him more attention. And this is kind of the point really. Both sides of this story are just as bad as each other. Dragonlord had a gimmick where he would purposely misspell the titles of his videos, which sums up Rayner's part in this beautifully for me. People thought that he was stupid, so he played into the Dragonlord character as it was his job. It's an odd way to make a living, but he would call haiders to his house regularly, as the more videos the haiders posted, the more eyes he had on his stream, even if the eyes were only there out of some kind of morbid curiosity. And as for the haiders, I think the fact that one of them went to prison because he was a kiddie fiddler again sums up their part in this beautifully for me. If you're the kind of person that is willing to put so much time and effort into tormenting another human being, you're probably not very nice, no matter how horrible you think the victim of your harassment is. Pretty much all the normal German people I have seen talk about this say that both sides deserve each other, and I kind of agree, to be honest. So, what is Dragonlord up to these days? Well, his YouTube channel was deleted this year. I've been unable to find out a reason why, but it looks like YouTube banned the account rather than Rayner deleting it himself. He does have a TikTok account, but it doesn't seem like he uploads much content, so let's hope that he stays offline and lives a happy life. It seems like the dragon game has finally come to an end. For now.
Nein! Ah, der liebliche Mief eines neuen Spiels. Schnupper, schnupper. Boah, geil. Oh.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then watch this one about Big Lenny, the bodybuilder who turned himself black, and bye bye.
What the hell? What's going on with your face?